Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sports Today. It's been a pretty eventful night of course, UEFA Champions League action that was kind of expected given the kind of fixtures we had in play today. But of course, that's the beauty of the Champions League. It can tend to, of course, surprise you, and even when you're expecting some really good matches, you end up getting, some very very exciting action in play, and that's exactly what we got today. We got some good results. We got a couple of upsets and we've got plenty of goals. I mean, when you're talking about Champions League nights, what more is it that you can ask for, right? Well, let's quickly just go over which all were the major results that took place. And of course, more than any other, there were two matches that we were keeping an eye on tonight. One was, of course, Liverpool versus Ajax, and the other was, of course, Bayern versus Barcelona, which for me was the match of the night in terms of, just looking forward to it, in terms of the expectations we had from it, because of course it's a match between two European rivals, and of course this time around, of course, you had the added intrigue of Robert Lewandowski coming back to his former home just a few months after a not so happy exit from, of course, the Bavarian club. So in that sense, these were the two matches that were interesting. We'll just quickly go over Liverpool versus Ajax first. And Liverpool ended up getting a very, very important win for their campaign. You remember they started the campaign with a 4-1 loss away to Napoli. This time around, however, they ended up getting a 2-1 win, but they left it quite late against Ajax. Nevertheless, the good news, if you're a Liverpool fan, is that they ended up getting the 3 points. Now, obviously, as I had said, the Ajax would present quite a stiff challenge to Liverpool, and that's exactly how it proved. Yes, Mohamed Salah gave them the lead in the 17th minute, but an equalizer from Mohamed Kudus in the 27th minute did bring Ajax right back into the game, and then thereafter, they actually stayed stubborn enough, and it looked like at one point they might just end up leaving Anfield with a point, which would have actually been very well deserved. But we know this Liverpool team have no quit in them, and that's exactly what they proved when Joel Matip ended up scoring that all-important winner in the 89th minute. Now that, of course, was a big, big moment for Liverpool, because again, it looked like they were on the verge of dropping points yet again. Thankfully for them, that wasn't exactly the case, and they lived to fight another day. So in that sense, it's pretty good result for Liverpool. Remember, they had lost their last game, and now they have got their first UCL points in, of course, this particular season. So in that sense, good job, Liverpool. Of course, the other major match of the day, as I had said, Bayern Barcelona, and it was expected to be a pretty intense clash between these two sides. Many people thought that goals would be flying both ways, but given the match was being played in, of course, Munich itself, I had predicted that Bayern would have the edge, and that's exactly how it proved. Second half goals from Lucas Hernandez and Leroy Sané, who, by the way, has been having a pretty impressive season up until this point, ended up being enough for, of course, Bayern to take the victory. Now, it is worth noting, as I said, that a lot of people would, of course, be pointing out who exactly, whether or not Lewandowski could be a decisive factor in this particular match. Well, he did start, and worth noting, he was given a very, very warm reception, of course, by the Bayern fans before kickoff, but couldn't really influence the settings as much today as he has done during, La Liga, during the La Liga campaign. So, in fact, if you are, if you're watching this and you were interested in seeing Lewandowski come back to haunt his former club, didn't quite actually happen that way. So in that sense, a bit unfortunate, but again, Bayern, as I had said, were always going to be the favourites. The biggest upset, though, for me of the night came, of course, in one of the earlier kickoffs. Now, you had Inter Milan and Victoria Pilsen, and you had Sporting and Tottenham taking on each other in the early kickoffs. Inter Milan winning 2-0 against Victoria Pilsen, pretty much expected, especially because Pilsen were at one point down to 10 men. But Sporting ended up registering, as I said, the upset of the night, because they beat Tottenham 2-0. You heard that right. Even though, you would think that Sporting would be a team that would be favourites going into this match. Remember, they were hosting the match, but a quick glance at the match, and Sporting were very happy to actually play second fiddle for the most part. They were sitting very deep more often than not. They were very content to defend against Tottenham and actually look to repel them more often than not. And to be fair, at one point it did look like Sporting would actually be able to get a point, and that would be it. It would be a very hard-earned point. But two very late goals, right in the end of the game, ended up actually being a bit of a counterpunch to Tottenham. Again, they too had been a very wasteful. They had missed a lot of very good chances. Emerson Royale, in particular, their right wing back, had spurned a couple of good chances. Richarlison missed a couple of chances. Son Heung-min was a live wire in attack but couldn't get that finishing touch. And they were punished right at the end. And unfortunately, what this loss will do is actually draw out a bit of scorn on Antonio Conte. Remember, Conte's record in the Champions League, despite him being a clearly elite manager, not exactly the greatest in that sense. But, so the fact that you're going on and this is a team. Remember, Spurs have spent a good chunk of money. I don't think he'd be that happy, losing to a Sporting Club de Portugal side, no matter how good they were. And let's give them their due. They were really, really impressive today. Let's quickly also go over the other results of the night. So there were only 7 matches today in that sense. So you had, of course, Porto versus Club Brugge. Now that was in fact the match of the night in terms of if we're looking for goals. Then Club Brugge ended up actually scoring 4 goals against Porto. Now I'll be honest, I didn't expect this, but full hats off to Club Brugge. They actually managed to get a very, very good result against a very strong Porto side. And in terms of the other 2 matches, you had Bayer Leverkusen. Remember, they had also, they've been struggling a bit in recent time for their form. They ended up beating Atletico Madrid 2-0. And of course, the last result of the day, Olympic Marseille were at home, ended up losing 1-0 to Eintracht Frankfurt. So again, it's been a bit of a mixed day for sides that were, of course, hosting Champions League games. Now remember, tomorrow is also a pretty action-packed day in terms of Champions League matches. There's plenty of big matches. You have Rangers, Napoli. You have, of course, Man City, Dortmund. That is, in fact, another big match for, the Champions League, because of course that's also going to see another homecoming of sorts. Erling Haaland, who used to play for Dortmund, will be playing up against his former club. Plenty of matches tomorrow, 9 of them in fact. So do join us for that. Right now I'm going to be taking you guys leave because, well, as you can see, it's pretty late at night and I'm going to catch a bit of sleep. But thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, drop us a comment below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and tap the bell icon so that you know when it is that we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. Don't also forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And last but not least, download the SportsTech app for all the breaking news updates from, of course, the world of football and the Champions League, but also the world of sport in general. Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye and good night for now.